And welcome back to episode 18 of the RCC PLodcast. And I would say we've got a new face on the screen, but we haven't. We've got an old friend come back to see us for the third time, but this time on a bit more of a permanent basis. We're changing the way slightly that we do these podcasts, and we're building a bit of a team. Three of us are on the screen right now, and there is another person that, if we're really lucky, might get on for the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes tonight. But if not, then we'll see them next time. But we've got Jamie. Jamie is joining us. Jamie was our first ever guest on the RCC podcast, and he was our first returning guest on the RCC podcast also. And now he is a permanent staff member. Welcome aboard, Jamie.
Thank you very much. Just so we know, that was about a year ago.
We were talking about this the other day before our last episode. We started this a year ago. That has flown. Absolutely flown.
Yeah.
How much has happened in that year for all of us?
Oh.
Quite a lot.
Well, we all did the event that we're not allowed to mention anymore.
Yeah. The E word is banned for the next couple of episodes at least.
Yeah. So whoever says it first does get the drinks in when we meet up. But we've all done that event, and so that's happened since then. And well, there's all sorts that's gone on, isn't there?
I think you could have funded a small country with the amount of trainers you've bought in that period.
Me?
Yeah.
Talking about me or Freddie?
Both of you. You balance each other. I'm like the poor kid. I inherited Freddie's hand-me-down Puma Nitros, which I'm still using. I love them, by the way.
Great shoes, mate. They were just too narrow for my foot.
Yeah.
Great shoes otherwise.
It's Freddie singing the praises of the Adidas shoes.
I know.
Now
Well,
been a convert to the Boston 12s. Absolutely incredible shoe for mid to long run. At speed
Really
as well. Absolute bang. And if you listen to this right now, as of February the 10th even, there's loads of them on special offer at the moment. Really cheap because the Boston 13's coming out.
Yeah, I saw them
for £100.
I saw them for 88 quid on sports shoes, I think it was.
Yep. I'll be diving down the sales. So
That is a bargain. They are probably still my favourite all-rounder. It's hard to say my favourite shoe now, but I'd say as an all-rounder, they're without a doubt my favourite. But I only wear Adidas apart from my trail shoes, and they're is it Ultra you call it?
Ultra.
Yeah. But even then, I'm contemplating trying the Adidas Agravic for a trail shoe.
I find that because I've got Gruffalo feet, big fat feet, I can only really get on with the Ultras, especially going for those longer distances because my feet swell. I'm sure you get the same problem. I find a lot of shoes come out quite narrow, even the wide widths for trail running. I don't have so much of an issue on the road, and also you don't tend to be in your shoes as much on the road. You're out for what 3 hours maybe max, maybe 4.
That's the question actually. I've not looked into this yet, and I need to. I've got the Ultras, and I like them. I've got the Experience Wild, so they're kind of like the entry level to Ultra, the sort of introduction to Ultra, because mostly they're 0% drop, aren't they, or whatever you call it, zero drop. Well, the Experience are not. They're I think they're about 3 or 4 mil, so it's kind of a step towards going to that zero. And that's just, I don't know that I could do a super long run in these ones I've got because they just feel really slow and sluggish, which is fine for a training run. I can really enjoy it, but I don't know that I would want to put my foot down or stay on them too long without them killing my legs.
Well, did you know that Ultra do carbon racing trail shoes?
No, well, this is it. I've not looked into them at all.
Oh, well, I have.
What do they start at? What's the RRP on those?
They're not that bad. So they're actually on special offer on sports shoes, and they're about 100. So not that bad. I'm talking relative terms here compared to like Alpha Flies, and insert your favourite racing shoe. They're about 170 quid.
Right.
Okay.
You can pick them up for. I think they are RP about 220. I think off the top of my head, which is it's a lot of money, but
yeah.
I only use them for racing. But yeah, they also look very cool. And this year's colour is that lovely yellow colour that you've got.
Oh,
they would match your
the Pro 4.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. The carbon ones. They're quite springy. Yeah. I ran a very fast trail 8 mile in them. And they were nice, and they do give you that. They're not quite the same as a road carbon plate. They're much bendier is probably the technical term I'll use there, because obviously when you're going through rocks and roots and whatnot, you don't want a rigid like carbon plate shoe. Well, I say that I've been to quite a few. Race to the Stones was one of them. When I turned up, and there was some chap, obviously very fast, very very fast, and he was there in a pair of Vaporflies for Race to the Stones, which is not technical, but there's quite a few rocks and roots in there. I certainly wouldn't want to do it with that stack height.
Yeah, I'm wanting a shoe that I can just chuck on and leave on for hours and hours and hours, but still get a bit of something back from them. That's the ones I've got now are great. If I just want to go do 5 or 10k out on the trails, they're perfect for that. But I think anything beyond that, I'd be struggling.
So I think you're what, you like size 10 or something, aren't you? Or...
11.
Ah, well, I mean, you could try my carbon trail shoes. They're a 12, so
right.
You could always have a go. I mean, there's only one size off. You're welcome to try them.
Size 12. Yeah. He's 5'4" in a size 12.
He'll never fall over.
5'4". Just so we know, I'm 6 foot.
So as it's it's Monday, so did you both do long runs yesterday? Sunday long runs?
Saturday for me.
Was it?
Yeah, I always try and do mine on Saturday.
Any particular reason why, or just habit, or?
I like to get it done.
Right.
Then it's done, kind of thing.
Enjoy the weekend.
And so, yeah, I mean, it sounds bad. I mean, I love the long run. The long run's my favourite run of the week. But sometimes I like incorporate park run into it.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I often don't quite get out the door at the right time. But I pretty much always do it on Saturday if I can get away with it.
So you not run on a Sunday at all?
I do run on a Sunday, but it's usually only for like an hour or an hour and a half, or usually 10-15k on a Sunday, because I've got boring stuff, but like the kids have got hockey and whatnot on the Sunday, so I've got to do that.
Real life stuff.
Unfortunately, stuff away from running, which is very upsetting. So yeah, Sunday's actually really annoying, and my wife often works on a Sunday as well, so it's easier for me, because as much fun as doing 3 hours on the treadmill sounds, it doesn't sound very fun.
And I seen over on Insta, Freddie, it looked like you had fun yesterday. You were out with a new crew.
Yeah, I did. It was really good fun. I had to and ah whether or not to go, so because I'm using the Runner app for my training at the moment. Mm-hmm. Yesterday was meant to be a race pace 15k, but last week was meant to be a conversational pace 15k, which I ended up doing at race pace. So I've kind of swapped those 2 weekends around, because yesterday when we went, it was still 15k, but the guys that I went with are all ultramarathon training at the moment. They've got their ultra coming up in March, so everything was dialed right back. They were walking the hills and just they said we were doing a 10 to 10.5 minute mile, which I think was about 6:15 per kilometre. So that. And I like saying this now, that for me was nice and relaxed, which before that wouldn't have been. But yeah, it was nice and relaxed and actually really good fun. People that I've known for a little while through the club. And so they reached out to me and said, do you want to come along? And I was like, yeah, do you know what? It'll be a laugh. And it was a good laugh. I guess because they're all fairly new people to me, I've never really spent any time with them. So all the conversations were fresh and funny. That was the thing. I mean, we were literally talking about ghost stories, about saggy boobs, about fat bastards was one of the subjects that came up. And yes, that was the words that were used, but in a funny way. But no, it was really good fun. It was a nice route. They took me on a route that was only, I don't know, 5 or 6 miles from my house now. So now I've got a new running route that I can go and do that I know is 15k, which is again really useful. So yeah, I had a really good time. Yeah.
I went out with James and Lewis and Theo. We did a 7 mile. Sorry if you can hear that lapping, by the way. The dogs just decided to drink a bowl of water at the side of my desk here. We did 7 mile, and I love the social aspect of the Sunday run now, because we're in a group. The conversations make it feel easy. Like, we're just talking nonsense. 90% of it is just absolute nonsense, but it eats into the time. You don't think about the trail. that's like the highlight of my running week now when we're training. I look really forward to the long Sunday because we're just meeting up with your mates and we're all about the same pace as well. It's even James has like massively hit a bit of a spike in his performance in the last couple of weeks. So he's suddenly got his steady pace is coping with our pace. It's nice.
Brilliant. I love to see that with James. He is doing so well at the moment, and he's on a bit of a roll.
Yeah. And he's doing. So we've got the TNT race that got postponed because of the frost we had in early January. That's this coming Sunday in Leeds. So me and James are doing that. And then the week after that, or was it 2 weeks after that, we've got the big one, which we've just been talking about before we hit record. You're coming for a PB attempt.
Yeah, Middlesbrough half. Is that March the 2nd, is it, I think?
Second or third year, yeah.
Yeah, so basically the first weekend of March. Yeah, that's going to be a PB attempt for me. I'm guessing a PB attempt for James.
It's his first time at a half, so whatever it is, it's going to be a PB in it. Yeah, as long as he crosses that finish line.
Brilliant.
So, quick question. I don't know whether you guys do this. I certainly do. Do you look at the course for, say, Middlesbrough half and then slightly obsess over it?
I never look at the course, especially elevation.
Never look at the course?
I did it last year, and
you're a mad person.
Never.
You're both insane. I couldn't do it. I have to obsess about it.
I think I do that purposely to not obsess about it, because if I would have looked at Gateshead, for example, when I did Gateshead half marathon, which I've done twice, I think now. If I'd looked at the elevation before that, it would have got inside of my head and I would have bottled it. Because when I turned up on the day, I was actually a bit like, oh shit, I didn't realise this was so hilly.
Yeah.
And it was really hilly. But it didn't matter, I really didn't care. But I think if I'd have known that beforehand, it would have got in my head. But I do know this, that Middlesbrough's meant to be flat and fast. Mm-hmm. And I think genuinely flat and fast.
A lot flatter than that Morpeth thing you conned me into doing with you last summer. If I'd have checked the elevation on that, I wouldn't have turned up. But that was advertised as flat and fast. So Jamie, just because I don't think I'm that serious enough of a competitor for my times yet, I'm still enjoying just bringing PBs down over distances. I've not really got into the science behind the elevation and stuff. I know you are, but you are a different level to where I'm at. And I understand why you do it, because every second counts in the races you're doing for the stuff you're aiming for. Me, I'm just seeing if I can improve on the last time I did this course last year, and that's how I'll gauge my progress over the year. Maybe one day if I get into carbon shoes that are going to shave seconds off,
Yeah, I'm a bit of a data numbers guy, so if I can...
I've picked up on that over the last 6 or 7 months we've been in a WhatsApp group together. You love your data and your stats.
Just to explain to the listeners, Jamie is a developer, so he is a proper...
I'm a software engineer, so I spend my life delving through data. It's a literal thing of mine, but... Yeah, I mean, I have to do it. I've even gone over the London Marathon. I've watched flybys of it, and I mean, all sorts of stuff. And the one I've got, which is a week before yours, which I've managed to get into, is also flat and fast. But straight out the start line, there's a climb of... I don't know. I don't know exactly how much it is, but it's a climb straight out the start gate. So I like to know, so I don't like completely redline myself immediately, to try and keep myself in check.
Is it half? Did you say?
Yeah, it's a half.
So if you don't mind me asking, what would be a PB for you for the half?
Sub 124.
Holy Christ! Yeah.
Like a different sport, isn't it?
It's not far off my 10k pace.
But it's like it's all relative, right? Like the people that some of the people that I know that are racing it who are like really fast, they're looking at like 67 minutes.
Yeah,
like it's a whole different world. And that's nearly 20 minutes faster than I'm looking at. I mean, this is it's madness.
Do you know, I had a message on Facebook a couple of days ago on the Facebook group. And Louise from our group, her other half, Ross, is on that group. And he's just started trying to get into a bit of fitness. And Louise went to the Birmingham Running Show the other week and bought him some new shoes. Well, he's putting them to use, and he's just done his second part run now. He did one. It might have been last week or the week before. He did one, and then he did one again this weekend, and he beat his time by a few minutes. And he's done part run in 54 minutes. And he put that message on the group, and he's put this little graphic on where it's like a video showing you his thing going around the map. And you talk about being, it's all relative. That 3 minutes is a big chunk, right? Even at 53, 54 minutes, whatever he did, it's a big chunk. And what I got a buzz from that when he posted it, thinking, well, given it, I've just reduced my time by this few minutes. I thought, well done, man. That's flipping awesome.
This is how it starts, isn't it? This is exactly how we all start, and then you watch if he keeps going and keeps the habit up. You watch where he is in 3 or 4 weeks' time.
I said to him, before you know it, you're going to be sub 50 minutes, and you'll just keep going from there.
But it's not even just time. It just, you end up, like, to me, I got obsessed with distance as well. I'm like, how far can I go? Because then which is really nice. I like the how far you can go mantra. I know we're not going to mention the E word, but like, there's various other options, and it's just nice because you forget about time as well. And I really like in the summer, I don't want to think about obsessing about each kilometre is this, and am I got the right cadence, and I just want to go into the woods and get lost. And you sometimes swim in a random lake that I find on one of my routes, stupid stuff like that, and I really enjoy that part of it as well. And to see how far, like, there's a really great book, I think I've mentioned it before, by a British presenter called Vassos Alexander, and one night he leaves work and just goes running through the night through London all night until he goes back to work the next day. And it's a really interesting story, and it's like all the nightlife that he finds when he's out running. And I'm like, that sounds incredible. I'd love to do that. Just go running all night. Just turn up the next day. It sounds incredible.
If I did that around here, I think I'd have police chasing me. And I'm not in a particularly bad area, but it would be frowned upon. There'd be people twitching out the curtains saying, "What's that weirdo doing?"
What's your plan at the half, Scott?
So Theo was going to run with me and pace me. I wanted to try and have a go at 1:45, which would be a PB for me. But the long run Sunday, he's struggling a little bit with his calf, so he's going to have to hold back a little bit. He said he still thinks he's doing it, but he's going to run with a friend of his that's looking to go to 2:10, I think. So he's happy to run with them. My sister Caroline, she rang me on Sunday, another success story. She's been following the runner app, and she did her longest run on Sunday that she's done in well over 10 years. She was over the moon with it. She's running with us. She'd be looking to go, I reckon, 2:10, 2:15 as well. So I was going to go and give it some welly and see what I could do, but then I'm thinking, now if Theo's not running with me, there's no pressure on me. I'm just going to go around and enjoy it, because I've got Berlin a month later, and I would love to PB in Berlin, if I'm honest. So, I'll probably just hold back a little bit and get round in. If I get round in under 2, I'll be well happy.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
What 2. I would say would probably be quite nice. Now, I know this is getting very structured for you. Now, you know me, Mr. Structured. I think Freddie's been doing this as well, but I know I've definitely been doing it in my runs, is putting some marathon pace, or in your case, half marathon, like goal pace, in. So why not run part of that half marathon at your goal pace that you want to run Berlin at? So then you don't get all the training stress load of trying to smash the two halves, because that is quite close together. Like a month is quite close to trying to do double PB attempts. But why not do the final 8k or something
of Middlesbrough?
Yeah, like do the first lot easy, see how you feel, and then maybe start punching it towards the end. But don't punch it like sprint. Don't go down to your 5k pace, but go down to what you want to run it at and see how you feel. I think that's really good, and it will be a good mental boost for you, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense. And like I say, I think with Theo not being available now to go for the time, there's absolutely no pressure on me to do it. So I could use it as just an expensive training run, really.
Yeah,
it's paid for. So
What is the pacing for that? What's that per kilometre?
For what, 145?
Yeah.
I think it was. Well, I'll tell you. Was it 7 something per mile? 7. Hang on,
We
talk
don't
amongst
work in miles
yourselves.
here.
Yeah. Actually, I've just got a calculator up.
I feel like it's got to be about 5:15.
Let's have a look. 5:15 will get you. 5:15 will get you a 147.
Oh, that was not a bad guess, was it? That was not a bad guess. So yeah, about what, 5:10 then?
5:10 per k.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 145.29 that would be.
I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be a one-time attempt. So if I was doing that at Middlesbrough, I think I would probably write off Berlin for going for it again.
Yeah.
So it's one or the other.
I think that's a good option to do that. I mean, ideally, I think if you were lining it all up properly and you were properly going for Berlin super hardcore, you'd ideally run, instead of a half, you'd run a 10k.
Yeah.
I think is generally the general consensus. I am by no means a coach. I'm just saying, because I'm running my half as a tune-up for London.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to run my half quite hard, but then I do have nearly 2 months to go over that. So,
Well, the option's there to run with me for the first half if you wanted, Scott, and then scoot off after that. So I'm going to be targeting a 159,
Okay.
which is about 540 per kilometre, something like that. So if you want to do the first half at that pace, and then try your target pace after that.
I remember rightly last year there was a decent spread of paces as well with the flags, so you could get away with sitting on the 2-hour pacer and then just leaving him in the last mile or so.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's what I'm hoping for.
Sorry, Jamie, go on.
What's the chances of Scott Cam coming out?
Did I do that last year? Was it? No, Morpeth was the first time I did that, wasn't it? I'll happily do that because we've got this new channel now, so we need some tidbits, if you like, for the new channel. So
yeah,
I'll
definitely
do that. Yeah, I might even capture you a little bit if you want, and stick a camera in your face while you're focused.
I don't want to take away from your race, mate. I don't want to take away from your run. So we'll have a camera each, and we'll.
If you can get Freddie in the pain zone and make it the thumbnell, that'd be brilliant.
You don't know the way his training's going. I might be just filming the back of his head as he disappears into the distance.
It's going well. I've got to be honest, it's going well. I'm really enjoying my training right now. I want to say runner app's making it good for me. I think following a training plan is making it good for me.
Yeah.
Ultimately, and I'm really, really enjoying it at the minute. And I'm actually really enjoying my days off. I appreciate them at the minute. So it's like today's my day off, and I could happily go for a run, but following it and doing what it tells me is making me run better, 100%.
They reckon it's good though. Caroline's smashing it as well, exclusively using the runner plan and the app for the half. Yeah, I've thought about it a few times as well, but does it integrate fully with your? I know with Garmin and Apple Watches, blah blah blah, but does it fully integrate with your Garmin and doesn't interfere with your Strava and all that? It's just seamless.
Yeah, it's seamless. I literally have an app on my phone. It lays everything out for me.
So when you start a workout though, do you start it on the runner app, or do you start it on your Garmin app, or do you start
on your watch? Start it on your watch.
All right, okay.
Just a normal. As far as I'm concerned, it's just I open up my normal run and click on run and click on go, just like I would for any other run.
Right.
But when you click on run, it says, "Do you want to do this workout?" Because the runner app's already sent the workout to your watch, and you just basically accept or reject that workout if you want to do it. And then and as you're running along, it will tell you if you're going too fast, if you're going too slow. When there's a change, so if you're doing like intervals, it will say, okay, now run 1 mile at whatever pace, and then once you get there, it tells you to slow down to a certain pace. It takes all the thinking out of it.
Just so we know for fellow Garmin users, that part of it is part of the normal Garmin bit anyway, because I use the workouts for like my intervals and my marathon, and it's quite cool because you'll be running along and it will say like next segment will be at XYZ kilometer pace or between this pace, and you get a cool thing pop up on your watch, and like, we're not sponsored by Garmin or anything here, but we know most people use them. But it comes up with a graph, and it will show you where your pace is sitting in that graph, and it's so useful for doing it. It can, if you're well off your pace, it's actually not nice. Like, because I've had days where you just don't feel great, and then you're well off, and then you have days where you feel amazing, and you're also going way too fast.
Yeah. Yeah, and it will constantly talk to you. If you basically have a red zone, and a green zone in the middle. If you're in the red zone, it will constantly say to you, you're going too slow, you're going too fast, and it will keep saying that every minute or something.
It gets quite annoying if you can't hit it. Yeah. But it's a really good way of doing things.
Well, it sounds like it's working anyway in your case, Freddie.
Yeah, the only thing I will say about it is where it's very optimistic. I know I spoke about this before, so I'll not go into it too much, but it's very optimistic with what it thinks I can do for a marathon. And I don't believe that it's right. But part of my issue with that is it's constantly telling me you're doing great, you're hitting the right pace zones, you're on target. So either I'm being really kind of pessimistic about it, saying, mate, you're just being too optimistic, or it's so far wrong that it's making you believe you can do something that you can't. I'm not sure, and I won't know the answer to that until I do the marathon, I guess.
So that predicted time then, for the marathon, is this, or the half?
For the marathon.
Right, okay. So there's still a little time to go on its plan for you to get there, right? Okay.
Right. It says, and that's the thing, it says I'm on target.
Yeah.
Right now the pacing, the target pacing is 5:40 per kilometre for a marathon, which I can hit that pace, and I can believe that I can do that already for a half marathon. I've done it for 15k, no problem.
Yeah.
Do I believe I could have done that 15k twice and then a bit more? No. But like you say, we're only in February. It's not until April. I've got a bit of time to get fitter and faster and lighter. So maybe I am just being pessimistic, but it just feels like quite far away.
It probably sounds scary because that's the final product at the end, and it's just showing you that. It's giving you a little glimpse of it, but you know how long that road is to get there.
Yeah, and not long ago that was my 5k pace. That's why it's scary, because I'm like, well, I was just in December I was running my 5ks in that pace. So that makes it feel a bit, or maybe not December, but you know what I mean. It wasn't that long ago. We'll see.
Just so you know, it never changes though. Like the saying is, it never gets easier; you just get faster.
Right.
I have the same problem, because I look at it for my paces for marathon, and I could think those last, everyone here has run a marathon, right? For anyone who's run a marathon, the final 10 kilometers is. Brutal. That's where the race really is, like, because you get to that 32 kilometers and your legs feel like death, and your head, you start to lose your head. I can lose my head a little bit in those last 10k, and I think a lot of people do. And the thinking of running that pace once you're 32 kilometers in your legs, it's pretty daunting.
Yeah,
and it goes for me as well. Like, it's just because my pace is faster doesn't mean it's any less daunting.
Oh no. I just feel like the it's. Like your target for the marathon coming up, Jamie, was it sub 3? Yeah. It's like saying to you, it would probably be like me saying to you now, no, you're gonna hit 2:45. It's not to say right, and that's how this makes me feel, because at the moment I haven't yet run a sub 2 half marathon. So how am I going to run a sub 4 marathon? And that's why I get a bit pessimistic about it, because I haven't even. Hey, I might get to Middlesbrough in a few weeks' time and hit a 150. It's highly unlikely, but if I hit a 150, then I'll be like, oh, okay, I understand it now. Maybe I can go sub 4, but because I'm still quite far away, we'll see, and that's when I'm going to really make my judgment on the Runner app. Because so far it feels like it's really good for getting me fitter and getting me faster. But maybe it's being a bit optimistic in what it thinks I can do at this stage.
But I also don't think you can't. It's hard to look at yourself in the third person,
Sure.
And I find this as well, because I don't really know where I am at the moment. Like, I know my training's going pretty well. I know that I'm hitting the paces and whatnot, but I haven't raced this year. So I've got exactly the same thing with my half marathon, because I'm like, I don't know how I'm looking for this really, and I think there is going to be some like weight on you, and that obviously, you know what I mean by this, on your mind for Middlesbrough. But I think it will show. I think you're going to surprise yourself without really knowing about it, because I think it's because you're now following a structured like routine. And you can tell your speed has increased massively. Also, your weight's gone down massively as well. So you've got these two factors that are just going to, accumulate in more speed. I think you're gonna surprise yourself. But I think the only thing you need to try and take out of it is the human element, because you've done the work to go fast enough, without a shadow of a doubt. So it's keeping your head in the right game, which I think is one of the hardest parts of running.
I am literally going to do what it tells me to do, and no more, no less is the idea, and then we'll find out how good it is, and I guess how good I've responded to what it suggests. We'll see.
Can we acknowledge our Fiona's achievement yesterday?
Yeah, so Fiona, she gave herself a bit of a knock by saying she failed. She didn't fail.
Did she?
She did. She did. In fact, Scott, tell everyone what it was that she did.
So she was running an ultra, which didn't begin with an E for once. It wasn't that one that we all do.
Began with an L, that one.
Yeah. It was a 75-mile race finishing up your way, I believe, somewhere in Northumberland.
Was it this far up?
Yeah. Well, it was about an hour 10 from where I am, straight across.
Right.
And she sent us all a tracker so we could track her, and she ran through the night, I believe, and I think she called it on her own judgment. She did, was it 52 miles? No, 60 miles.
93k, I think, off the top of my head.
Right, someone convert that for me.
It's a lot.
Divided by 1.6. So, would have been 100k is 60 miles. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been about 53, 54 miles.
Either way, she ran a hell of a long way. And she beat herself up a little bit about it, but I don't know why, because hats off to anybody that can do that for that amount of time.
I find it more impressive at the time of year.
Yeah.
Like, I would not want to be doing that in
seriously
February.
Cold, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, and there's a bit of a running joke, if me or Bryn say something stupid, then it truly is ridiculous. And I was just like, that is madness. Why would you do this? Like 75 miles in February, through muddy fields, and I was like, fair play. I was like, I wouldn't do it. You went 93k further than I would.
Yeah,
because I would not be doing it.
Because one of them, isn't it? Like when you book something like that, you're obviously risking that it's going to be snowy and icy because of the time of year. And if it's not going to be snowy and icy, then it is going to be wet and muddy. It's going to be one or the other. So fair play for firstly for signing up for the bloody thing at this time of year, but then to do 93k. Well done, Fiona. You did flipping awesome. Don't give yourself a hard time. Yeah.
And then I'm just thinking, what else is going on in our little community chat group? Bryn's suffering, isn't he?
Bryn's just give us an update tonight. It looks like he might be on the mend. He's got was it his leg or his glutes? I forget.
Yeah, he had
it's his ass. He's pulled his bum.
Yeah.
The medical term is sciatica. He's got he has had a diagnosis today, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, he hasn't been training too well on it. Every time he's tried to feel confident and come back, he's had a setback, and you can see on his Strava he's been fed up trying to think he was okay and then see a knockback. So, but good news that he's now got a name for whatever it is that's gone on, and he can aim at a plan to come back properly.
Yeah, and he will. We know he will. He'll come back like a beast.
Yeah,
the guy that does what was it? 20 or 30 miles to do a park runs.
Via a mountain.
Yeah.
Just,
what a boy.
The man's crazy.
Yeah, what a boy.
Yeah, he's a bit of a lad.
And we should mention as well, Bryn's just casually slipped it in there, but he's an author now, a published author. He's released a book.
Yes, he has, yeah. All to do with foods and
his nutrition plan.
Yeah.
Maybe we
We'll have to
should
stick
share that link. Yeah, we'll get it off him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. We'll stick a link down below this video for anyone that wants to have a look at that. But I did read it. I know he sent us all a copy digitally, and I did have a look at it at the time. But yeah, we'll share that and see if we can't. See if we can get some commission first, should we?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
either that or bring some more of those potatoes to that ultra we're doing. They were phenomenal, weren't they?
Heard about the legendary potatoes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to eating my cheese twists from Lidl. Can't go wrong with a Lidl cheese twist.
No.
That'll get you going.
So has anyone got any others coming up? Any other events? We've got the half marathons coming up. I've obviously talked about already. I've got Manchester Marathon in April. Somebody else might have a race the same day that I'm running Manchester Marathon somewhere.
Yeah, I managed to get into London.
Spawny.
It's not what you know, is it? Sometimes.
Yeah, I managed to, luckily, perks of being a member of a running club. So shout out to Compton Harriers. I won the raffle to get the London Marathon ticket this year. So I'm representing them at London. I'm hoping to run a PB, which
currently sits at.
I think my PB is actually only 3:11. Which
only
was from the other
3:11.
day. So, no. I mean, I
3:11.
haven't. That's that sounded really bad.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's because I didn't run or focus on marathon racing at all. So I focused a little bit on half racing for a little bit, but never focused on marathon. I've never. I tried once to get a sub 3, and then the virus that shall not be named hit, and all races got cancelled. So I ended up not being able to race the one I was going to do. But yeah, managed to get into London. So luckily I have my family all live in London on my wife's side, so I've got a nice place to stay.
And the idea is to PB. You said So sub 3 though is the target,
I'm
right?
hoping to sub 3. Yeah, I've been training for sub 3. The absolute A star goal would be sub 2:57. Because that means I get the coveted family marathon title.
Oh, who owns that right now?
That is my wife's father, and he loves to remind me of it every single time I see him. I'll never beat his half PB, but I have a chance of being his marathon PB.
What's his half?
It's like 109.
Oh wow, he's proper.
But he was like 18, and he's now like 60 something, and he hasn't run in years.
But to defend him as well, this was before carbon plated shoes as well.
Oh, this was before cars, mate.
He doesn't listen to this, does he?
Yeah. I'll send him this way, don't you worry. So I like to remind him that he's old at all times. No, he's a lovely chap. Shout out to Martin. But he does like to remind me of his marathon time, which he also set at London.
Right.
So I would love to beat it. But I do have him at every distance past the marathon.
It's good going to try and PB at these massive races, like these super huge races, because when I did the Great North Run, I was just like weaving in and out with so much traffic. It was really hard to get a decent line, So you're adding on 2 or 3 minutes easily, just bobbing in and out. So to try that at London, unless you're in the elite pack right at the front, you're going to be having...
Well, because I'm in the
sub 3.
The 3 hour pen, it is... Most people are going for that sort of... It's a less congested pen. Yeah. So it's not quite as bad.
Freddie and I have got to dodge in and out of like Superman and fridges and
This will be my first. Well, obviously it's going to be the first of my Abbott's major marathon, but it's going to be my first ever really big event like this.
Yeah,
I've never done a massive. Most of my races are always like low key, right. Maybe a few thousand max, but most of them I've done like I'm come from mountain bike and trail running, where there's 4 spectators on the course and 2 of them are rabbits. So it's going to be surreal running through London. Oh no, saying that, I did run Reading half marathon years ago, which was pretty cool.
And how's your training going for that? Are you on track? You where you want to be at this moment?
Yeah. So I did unfortunately have two minor things come up so far. I had norovirus last week, which was very unpleasant. I still trained the day I had it, which was probably not the best idea. I felt terrible, so I did cut my run very short. And then before that, I just had a minor niggle with what did I have? I think something came up that started hurting. I minor pulled something. Oh, hamstring, which I had just before the E word last year. And it was a very minor thing, but I missed a long run and did a long bike ride instead. But apart from that, I've hit every single training run. I've even been doing double days for double days, 3 days a week, but 2 of them are cycling. So, but one of them I'm double running now. So I've got a run in the morning, which is like intervals, and then an easy run in the evening. Because to get there, it's all about the mileage for like sub 3. You know, you're clocking up to 70-mile weeks. But yeah, and on a side note, I think I've managed to convince my wife to run a marathon.
I saw.
Yeah.
So this is exciting.
How much does that cost you?
This is not cost me. This is her entirely organically, her idea. So she said, she came to me the day and she's like, I want to run a marathon. And I'm like, what
Now,
can I
does
do
she
to make
run?
this happen?
Does she run right now? Is she a runner?
So not really. She has run halves before. She's actually got a pretty decent half PB as well. She's naturally quite athletic and fit because she's got horses and she's always active and doing stuff like that. So she's naturally quite active. But she's not run in years, not since she's had our 2 kids, and my kids are 6 and 8 now. So she's not really run. But I bought her treadmill recently, and she's been using that every other day for like 30 minutes. She's like, oh, I'm not very fast. I'm like, stop comparing yourself to me and compare yourself to yourself, please. Yeah. And she can run 30 minutes, no problem, without stopping. I think 10 kilometre per hour pace. So what's that? Yeah, 10k in an hour pace.
Yeah,
roughly.
6k.
But for 30 minutes. So
6 minute k.
Yeah, so she's running about 6 minute k, and I was like, that's pretty good. Like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, she's
future podcast guest.
You can try.
Yeah, it'd be nice to
So
talk
there will be rules if she comes on. We do not speak about how much trainers cost.
Well, what does she run in? What trainers does she wear?
So she actually runs in barefoot trainers.
Ah, okay. The V Vibro things. What are they
Yeah,
called?
the
I've got a
Vibram
pair of
ones.
them.
Yeah.
I bought them when I was just starting out, and awful for me. Just I was too heavy to even try. They're now under my bed in a pretty box that we don't talk about how much they cost either.
Have you tried them since you've lost weight?
I haven't actually. No, the first time I've even thought about them in over a year. That they are up there in a pastel green colour with a white sole that's still white because I only ever wore them a couple of times and they crippled me.
That'd be interesting to see how you react to them now. Now you're a bit lighter. Well, I say a bit lighter, a lot lighter.
Yeah, the thing that upsets me greatly about my wife running is she doesn't use a Garmin or a watch.
Oh, she's using a phone.
She doesn't use anything.
She's
a savage.
Care.
She's nothing.
She's just a cave lady.
She's just crazy. She's going out running. Like, how are you not tracking it? Not on Strava.
There's something quite admirable about that, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's
doesn't care.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I can't cope with it.
The data nerd.
I was going to say,
not handle it.
I can't. You can't see the correlation in the improvement in your training.
You'd be measuring your bloody step and how many steps did I take?
I do measure my steps per minute.
Oh my god! Shut up.
I obsess about my cadence. Absolutely obsess about my cadence, and I'm really not joking either.
Do you know? I can remember years and years ago, before anyone was wearing GPS watches. I was obviously in the army at the time, and it might have been Garmin. I can't remember, but there was some brand of watch where you would get your watch, and I never had one, but friends of mine did. You'd get your watch, and you would tell it what your cadence, how big your stride is. So you'd put in the measurement. Let's call it 1.20 m or whatever it is. You would put that in there, and then you would tell it how fast you wanted to run, and it would beep for every time that your foot hits the floor.
Ah, like a
And
metronome.
yeah, exactly. So it would know, okay, you want to go this far. This is how big your stride is. So if you hit the floor every time it beeps, then you should hit this certain pace. So that's what people were using before GPS. Yeah, I remember that. I never had one myself, but I do remember people using it. So
That is very cool.
yeah.
See, middle-aged running man Tim got a PB at the half. Was it last week he uploaded that?
Yeah.
He smashed it, didn't he?
What was it?
Didn't he?
I didn't see it. It's going to be ridiculous.
It was 127, I think.
It was 120 something. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll kill us, won't he, if I don't get it right? I'm going to have to check.
He was basically talking because me and Tim are the same age. He's a few months older than me, so he's coming up 49, and it was he's almost considering, have I got to the age now, because he's a good runner already, have I got to the age now where I've gone past the days of getting a PB?
No.
And the answer is absolutely no. He went and smashed one out, and actually, sorry to say this, Tim, but you actually made it look quite easy.
I was going to say, there was a point, wasn't there, where he drop a cup, or there was a delay. He wasn't like he took some time out from the race, and he still managed to like PB it.
So I always find it amazing when people are racing and they have these faces. I'm often having a quite smiley, but when I'm racing really hard, say I'm going for a PB, I look like I'm having a stroke. Like it's not great. Like it's just these people, and they're gliding along at these ridiculous paces, and I look like I'm actually going to die.
Oh, honestly, watch Tim's video. He's cruising along, cracking jokes to the camera all the way around. Like,
I hate people like that. Go away.
I actually called him an expletive in the little WhatsApp group we've got. I did say you made the look easy, you bar stand.
You did.
It's definitely not. You definitely don't. Will still be getting PBs. So my friend, who I ran the E-race with, my friend Nick, he got his PB at London last year, I believe, and he's a veteran 50, so he's older than both you boys, and he ran a 2:55.
Wow,
nice.
So and he ran the other just literally. Well, he yesterday did 130 kilometers a week, and he ran a 1:24 half. And he ran a 10k the other week, and the first 5k was in 17 something.
Wow.
And he's 52 or something. It's madness.
Like what you
and
said.
it just keeps getting faster.
Yeah. So what you said, it doesn't get easier, but you get faster. Like I can honestly say, hand on heart, and I hope there's more people out there listening to this that can relate. But I don't enjoy the actual activity of it. Maybe I love the last mile of a long run. I don't enjoy that feeling when you're in the battle and you're in the moment. But the feeling I get when I finish is like, I want to do that again. And it's a bit of a comedic meme. I know that. You look on Instagram, there's always comments about how like you hate every moment and then you love it when you're finished. But it's true. It is true. I don't hate it, but it's not pleasant, is it? It's not pleasant. Chest inhaling and can't get as much oxygen in as you'd like.
Well, I'd only say that's true if you're racing or going really hard. Like if I'm doing a tempo session or intervals or racing, then I 100% agree with you. But in my zone 2 runs, I couldn't think of anything else I'd rather be doing at that.
Yeah, sorry. That's what I mean. Racing.
Okay,
when I'm racing.
Racing. Oh yeah.
It's not an enjoyable thing to feel, but when you finish, you get the high. But no, like I said, I love my Sunday runs. It's like one of the highlights of my week at the minute. Going out with the lads and just talking rubbish for 2 hours.
You are right about racing, though, isn't it? Because, you kind of dread it, but you love it at the same time. And I know it's type 2 fun, but I do genuinely I've got this half coming up in 2 weeks, and I can't explain if I'm petrified and dreading it, or if I'm super excited. I don't know where I sit. I think in both areas. Yeah. It's probably why I don't race 10Ks as much, because I genuinely just dread that. Because I just know you're in for a period of time of misery.
On Tim's Strava, and this will probably be different to his official time, but it's 1:23.
Oh, right, okay. Nice.
I was thinking 1:27 sounds a little pedestrian for him. I was like,
that was his Strava time, so he may have been a bit quicker than that. I don't know.
take it back, Tim. It was quicker than 127. Sorry, mate.
And just so we know, if you're running a half, that's about 3:54 pace.
I'll tell you now, 3:56.
So imagine that for 21 kilometres.
I don't know that I can run that fast.
I don't think I can.
What, 21 kilometres or at all?
I'm going to try that. I don't know if I've ever run that like 3:56 per kilometre. I did do a 1K time trial last year, which I keep saying to myself, I want to redo that to see where I'm at compared to that. But I don't think I went as quick as that.
It'd be so good if we could get down to a track.
I would
and
love
we could
that.
have a group time trial.
I would love
That
that.
would be awesome.
There's a video.
That is a video of, and bonus points if Freddie buys a pair of spikes just for the day.
I would. 100% would. Yeah. Actually, I've been looking at. I've got a pair of the Takumi-san, and I've realised now that the Adios 9 has come out, and they've got the same colourway as the Adios Pro 4. And I was watching the reviews on that the other day, and it turns out the Adios Pro 9, the Adios 9, looks like it's been designed to pair with the Adios Pro 4 as a training.
Is this the non-carbon platey one?
Non-carbon plate,
but with the light strike foam.
Yeah, it's got a lower stack. It's meant to be a quick shoe. Maybe not quite as quick as a Takumi-san. I think it depends who you ask to what your answer is there. But it does look like a good quick shoe to try it. But a lot of people were saying they're using that shoe specifically for track. Where they can't, so maybe because not all tracks like you wearing spikes all the time, do they?
No.
So they wear the Adios 9 on the track. Yeah, it's supposed to be quite good for that.
It would be good if we could do a time trial. Need to find
I'd like to even run on a track. The only time I've run on a track in the last 30, 40 years is when I finished Gateshead Half Marathon. It finishes on the track, and you do basically half a lap. Otherwise, I've not run on a track, and I would love to give that a go.
Yeah, there's one by me, one of the local running clubs. I'm not a member of that running club though. My running club doesn't have one because my running club is really small.
Yeah, mine does. Mine doesn't have one.
But yeah, I would like to do it. It'd be nice to do intervals and stuff on the track.
Yeah, there's one at Tynemouth up near me. Whitley Bay, sorry. I think it's Whitley Bay. There's one there that you can pay a few quid to go and use it for an hour or whatever it is. But it's finding the time to get over there on the right day, it becomes a pain. But I would like to try it. And I hear nothing but good things about doing interval training on a track because it's got all the distances set out for you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I do all my interval training on the treadmill now.
Yeah,
tempo runs, just because
I need to get a treadmill.
They're so useful for interval training because you don't have to worry about kids, cars, ice, weather, anything. You can just run hard, and you can just brain off. It's great for that, and it's very convenient as well. So,
any weather.
Yeah, I do enjoy mine quite a lot. So that's my session tomorrow morning.
Nice.
At 6 a.m.
Oh, I used to love running mornings over evenings, but as the office days have returned a little bit more frequently, I'm just not getting the morning done. So it's evenings and late afternoons now for me.
Yeah, I'm very much a morning person. I mean, I'm actually volunteering myself to go into the office tomorrow, and I have to cycle in, so I've got an interval session and then an 18-mile bike ride into the office.
Nice.
But that will be very, very easy. Very easy bike ride.
So I've got to look at changing my schedule because I've kind of stitched myself up. We've always had a rule in our house that whoever finishes work first does dinner. And my wife normally would finish work at 4 and get home for 4:30. I finish work at 5:30, so normally my dinner's there waiting for me as soon as I finished at 5:30, or I go for a run and have it after. She's just changed her hours. She's gone from a 5-day week dropping down to a 4-day week, but with the same number of hours, which means the days she's at work are now longer, and she doesn't get home till 6:30. So I now have to do the dinner 4 nights a week, which is amazing, right? but obviously that now eats into my running time. So I've got to look to trying to do my runs in the morning if I can. But I then have to do getting my daughter up for school and making sure she's all ready to leave in time as well. So it's kind of I have to try and juggle it a bit better.
Or just invest in a crock pot like I've got. And
A
then
crock pot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we do a lot of that, but not everything can be cooked in there, can it? It's the thing. So there's a lot of meals that are...
my kitchen doesn't have an oven.
Right.
So, long story. I mean, you've actually been to my house.
I have.
But it's very much a work in progress where I live. And my kitchen has no hob oven, so I use an air fryer and a crock pot to cook everything.
Yeah.
So I've already prepared tomorrow's dinner tonight.
Right.
I just got to turn it on when I leave the house.
Yeah, we do a lot of slow cooking, but it's not always. It depends what you're
That doesn't
eating,
work for
doesn't it?
everything, no. But
No.
if you got a run plan, like tell you what, we're slow cooking tonight, guys.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna, especially this time of year. But yeah, I kind of stitched myself up with that rule, but it is what it is.
Have you had any more information about the potential festival that was pitched, Freddie, in August?
Yeah, I do message with one of the lads that runs the company, Paul, quite a bit. I think they're about to release the tickets any day,
Right.
from what I gather. I don't know what it's going to cost yet, but I am getting excited for it. I've got to say, it does look and sound really cool.
Yeah.
And timing wise, it's not great for me this year because of the obvious. But there is a bit of me that's like, well, who cares? Do it anyway. You know.
Oh, I fully intend on being there. I know we're doing the other one that we don't talk about now, but I still plan to be there. I'm not going to not set any targets whatsoever. Just go and enjoy them.
Well, in the endurance side of it, there's actually two events. There's the 24-hour, but there's also a 12-hour. So
Right.
there is the option to do that. But in my head, I'm like, well, no, if I'm going to do 12, I might as well do 24.
Oh, there's a big difference between 12 and 24, my guy.
Yeah. But again, like Scott just said, there's no pressure to do any specific distance. For me, I'm excited about it because it's on my doorstep, and I know exactly where it is, and I know the route fairly well, you know. But yeah, they've also got another social run booked in coming up, which I think is on I forget if it's the 16th or the 22nd. It's the same day, and this is the problem with it. It's the same day that I said I'd run with Kaylee when she's doing she's doing a marathon, I think, that day up near me as a training run.
Yeah, it's the longest run, isn't it?
Yeah, and I said I won't run the marathon with her, but I'll come and do, you know, a handful of miles towards the end of it with her. And I think they're on the same day and potentially at the same sort of time as each other.
Right.
But no, otherwise I'd like to try and get to that because I really enjoyed it last time. And honestly, Scott, if you're available when they're doing one, get signed up for it.
Yeah.
You get to. For me, it was more about, this is somewhere new that I've never run before. You know, and someone's already marked out a route, if you like, that I just have to follow. So it was really good fun.
I do fancy
But
it.
It's good fun. But it's going to be all sorts there by all accounts, you know, yoga and all that sort of stuff. And I think canoeing on the lake and all sorts going on. And live music, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to. As soon as it's out, I'll definitely hit you up and let you know, and we'll take a look at it.
I don't think I'll be the only one as well, talking among our close-knit friends. There'll be a few people up for that, I think.
Jamie might come up, but I think he thinks he needs a special passport to get up here.
Well, it's further north.
Nothing.
25, isn't it? It's up north. You speak different up there.
Honest to God. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm the down south correspondent, by the way, for the podcast.
well, you have to come up and report to HQ at some point.
HQ, yeah.
We have to give you your badge and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just going to go kip round Freddie's house for a few nights. We're going to go running.
Doors
We'll
always
go drag
open,
him out
mate.
in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame that event does sound good, but I'm not sure if, once again, I'll probably push my luck with events this year at the moment, as I am already.
Yeah.
And yeah, August is like family holiday sort of time as well, which is a bit awkward. And I'd be fine if I wasn't doing the one we shall not mention, and then 2 weeks before doing South Downs Way 100, and then also my wife supporting me at London as well. Saying that, I have nothing planned after the one we shall not mention at all.
It's funny. I had a comment on YouTube yesterday. I think it was. There was a guy on there that said, "How about next year? Do you fancy coming down to Devon to Hope 24?"
I've seen that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, Hope 24 is something I did look at last year, and was considering signing up because I think it's actually September, if I remember rightly. It was at a good time of year anyway. And honestly, the main reason that I didn't, well, there was two reasons that I didn't do it. One was because I met you lot, and I know we were all going to go to Leeds. But the other one is logistically, it's just a bloody nightmare. It's another 2 days, 1 day each side.
Two birds, one stone. There is a direct train from Darlington to Devon, and my father-in-law's just bought a second house in Devon, and he moved in about 8 months ago.
Really?
So there we go. We're sorted.
Well, because then the other side of me is how many 24-hour events do I want to do in a year? And the sensible answer is one, I think. Because then I have to decide, well, is it Leeds, is it Devon, or is it Druridge Bay with the Heart and Soul lads, which is on my doorstep?
I think with the Hope one, though, I think they do a 12, 24, and 36 hour. I'm sure they do.
Shut up.
I'm pretty sure they do a 30.
Stop talking.
Because I signed up for the Hope Trail Festival years ago.
Right.
And I never ended up doing it. I can't remember why I didn't do it.
I'm going to check while you talk.
But I'm fairly sure they do a 36. I'm sure they used to.
It's actually in July.
July 11th to the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our correspondent
Hope
now
12,
is just...
Hope 24 and a Hope 36.
There you go. So 100 miles next year for you, sorted, easy mode. It's only 36 hours. You could walk around that.
Think of the nap we could have on that, Freddie.
Think of it. Look, the viewers told me, they actually told me this. They said, we'd love to see Freddie put himself through it for 36 hours.
And it's miles away. You'll be like 10 stone by then.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be 10 stone. You'll be flying around at 5-minute kilometre pace. Yeah.
If you run 2:45,
I'll run 240.
I'll run 36 hours.
If I run 2, well, I can assure you right now, I will not be running 2:45.
There you go. There's the deal.
So,
No, do you know what? Jokes aside, I would sign up to a 36-hour one, and I think actually next year is a good time to do a 36-hour job, because next year is when I said that I wanted to do 100 miles, and that would give me that buffer to be able to do that. But I did also say that I want to do 100 miles in 24 hours.
Well, I mean, you can still do both. It's just, you can do both.
Hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because
Well,
like
we
I say,
are.
I think let's talk about it as a bigger group. Because I don't know. There's a piece of me that just really enjoys the one that we've done, and like doing it, and I'm comfortable there.
Ultras are not about being comfortable, my guy. I do see what you mean, though.
There's a
I'm
safety net there, isn't there? Because it's a loop.
There is, but I have to say I'm also really, I think we all agree on this, especially you, Scott. I think we're all fed up of talking about that place as well, because it comes up every time.
I know, and this is why we need to branch out, I think, and think of other options. I really fancy that one in August that your friends are setting up.
I mean,
Go on.
I'd love to get you lot on doing a Centurion race or something.
A point to point.
You've done the 24-hour. Let's have a go at point to point.
Yeah, I'm up for doing that as well. But I think for me they would be an addition. I love that one 24-hour event to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, but like literally the answer is one or both. Because especially with the point to point races, I'm going to use Centurion as an example just because they're the ones down by me. By the way, if anyone's looking for any ultra races, Centurion running, really big company down here that does really cool stuff. they're all throughout the year. So you got the early ones, like the Thames Path 100. You got the one I'm doing that's right next to Endure. I mentioned it. Damn it! Sorry.
Drinks are on, Jamie.
Yeah,
You did
Damn
it.
it!
Drinks are on, Jamie.
that was so easy.
Damn it! Oh.
For those listening, we did say before we press record, the first person to say the E word in full has to buy the drinks.
Oh, bollocks. And they're Northerners as
we
well,
say
so
that?
they're going to...
We might have said that on camera, actually, did we? I can't remember.
I can't, wow. And they're Northerners as well, guys, so that's me. I'm going to need a mortgage. Yeah, so there's South Downs Way 100 in the summer, and then in the autumn you've got the Autumn 100, and if you're a weirdo like Fiona, you've got the Winter Downs 100. There's also the North Downs Way 100, which is at some point.
There's the wall as well, which is a bit of a rite of passage up here, isn't it? The wall, which is the 70
Oh,
miles.
there's
fancy that.
heaps.
Yeah, Running Channel did that last year, the same day, by the way, that the Sycamore Gap tree was felled.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
right.
But that looks a cracking race, that.
Yeah,
The girls
does.
from the
I
Running
know a
Channel
lot.
did it, didn't they? They vlogged it.
yeah. I've got quite a few friends that have done it, and they all rave about it, how good it is.
And that
Carlisle's
is like
pretty
that, isn't it? Hills up and down, up and down. I've walked that a few times hiking.
Yeah, the Downs type races, like having raced one, it does feel unrelenting when you're on those kind of hills. They just never end. You constantly feel you're going up.
I'll tell you, there's another thing I'm thinking of trying as soon as this year, as a good way of training hills, is fell running, but entering a race. I quite fancy entering a couple of fell running races over at the Lake District.
He's
not
a
to do
brave
any-
boy.
Well, not to do any fast times or anything like that, but I've watched a few videos on YouTube, and there's a couple of guys that have got fell running channels that are not super fast people. They're more towards the back end, because that's always been one of my fears with fell running. It's kind of, you look at it like,
It's a lot of club runners that turn up, isn't it?
a lot of fast people, up on the top of a hill in November in a vest, that them sort of people, and that
So
ain't
Britain
me.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of it kind of put me off. But I watched some of these videos, and I'm like, oh, actually, okay, there's all sorts of people doing them. They're just quite small events. And I don't know, there was something about it. I thought, actually, I'm probably quite well known now for somebody that likes to avoid hills, so it might surprise people that I fancy trying that. But I do fancy giving it a go.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, it's something totally different for
Right.
me.
Well, we've got 4.5 million listeners now on this podcast, so surely anybody that can think of any hills for
4.5
Freddie can
million.
throw them in the comments and say,
Yeah.
come over this way.
Yeah.
And I'll bring Scott Cam and film it from the top. How long have we been going, by the way? This was supposed to be just a short taster to show Jamie the ropes, but people on
an
the
hour
long
and 7
runs
minutes.
now, people on the long runs are going to be finished and showered.
Yeah, an hour and 7 minutes now.
Oh, that's not too bad for our standards.
No, that's not too bad. Oh, it's because I had those mic troubles. It took a little while to get that sorted. just for the viewers' pleasure, I was faffing with my mic about 20 minutes.
That's all good. All good. Well, we can start wrapping up though, guys. If we're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a little congratulations for Tom as well, don't we?
We do.
Can't forget that. Better than any
Tom-
race.
Tom is now a proud father
He is.
of a little
It is,
boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the name or anything like that, because I don't know if that's public at all, and if he's putting that out there, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed he didn't choose Freddie or Scott, to be fair.
I know.
Fair
I
enough.
know.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
All is well in the world of
Congrats, Tom.
all is well in the world of Tom, though. So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Yeah, no, I wonder. I will have to ask him and see how he's getting on, because I wonder what impact that's going to have on his training. Because Tom strikes me very much as being a kind of hands-on dad, so I can see that having an impact. So it'd be interesting to see. Your dog's having a drink again, isn't it?
Might be.
I'm just upset the dog's not on the video feed. To be fair,
Yeah.
He would be. He's been trying to get up a couple of times. I've had to pat him down. Do you know what? I'm in this temporary area for doing these, and my house is currently getting a bit of a rewire. I should, touch wood, I should be back in my permanent base of operations next episode, because this is doing my head in. I've got so many distractions around me. Promise you, there'll be no more background lapping noises.
We've,
I don't know.
we've,
The dog is great.
we've missed the Manchester Marathon medal behind you, mate.
Do you know what? I don't even know. We've took that down. It's in a stack of framed pictures somewhere. I'd best find that.
Did you do Manchester, Scott?
That's 2 rounds now, Freddie. Is that no? He said endure, and he's now brought up that.
That's fair.
Yeah, Freddie brought it up first, just FYI. So can't blame me.
But no, that's great, guys. Been a really good chat and good to see you both again. For anyone listening, next time there should be 4 of us. We'll get our schedules all lined up a bit better next time.
Yep.
We won't say who that 4th person is yet, but we will say that we're going to sort of sprinkle a little bit of a female personality in there as well, just to break up the lad chat. So yeah, thanks for listening. Jamie, welcome aboard. Great to see you,
Thanks
mate.
for having me.
Scott, good to see you as always, buddy.
Likewise.
And we will see you all soon on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.